There it is. Hello guys and welcome to an Overwatch overview of Lucio. He is the new hero for Overwatch, and joining me today is Pracky. He will be discussing alongside myself who this guy is and what the fuck he wants from us. So what do you think about Lucio, Pracky?
I really like him. That's not going to surprise you, I don't think,
No.
because I think a sort of dancing black guy who listens to bassy music is just about the perfect character for me. With massive dreadlocks and everything, couldn't really be any better.
Yeah, it's about as good as it gets. And there's also the added benefit that it looks like he's got dildos on his head.
Yeah, very into that.
They're quite impressively animated. Is that the right way to say it? Like they've got a good
yeah, you
swing
could say
to
that.
them, you know. Wherever
Some
the
real math going on there.
So Lucio is a support hero, and he looks like a really cool, fun support hero. And isn't that strange? Support being fun? The only game where I think that happens is League of Legends. I've always said that support is a lot of fun to play in League of Legends, and if they can get support right in this game, I think they're onto a winner, because support is always one of those roles where it's like horrendous to play. Like for example, I'll use Heroes of the Storm. Fuck do I hate playing support in Heroes of the Storm. Even heroes like Tassadar, which are the best support heroes for technically doing like damage and clearing minion waves and just getting through the bloody game, still boring as fuck. But this guy, he's jumping all over walls, he's got a great gun by the looks of it, he can knock people back, he can speed people up, he can heal them. It looks like he's got a bit of everything really. So aside from the generic kind of information that he's from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and he's a DJ, he's 26, like most of them, quite young, obviously trying to appeal to that younger crowd in it. And he's looking very futuristic. Let's take a look at his abilities. So we've got Sonic Amplifier. So Lucio can hit his enemies with sonic projectiles or knock them back with a blast of sound. So his first weapon attack is like a burst of 4 hits basically. And there seems to be a little gap in between the shots, so there's a little risk that he could be vulnerable in between those gaps. But generally speaking, that weapon does seem to fire very quickly. And the knockback just looks like a lot of fun, but I think it's going to be one of those moments where you're rarely going to be using it. You want to use it all the time, but you're not going to get to use it all that much. What are your thoughts on this?
I sort of get the impression that it might actually be the other way around, and that his primary fire with the little burst thing maybe is a bit crap, because historically they tend not to do very much damage. I'm guessing you would have to hit all the shots constantly in order to do sort of acceptable damage. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're planning to sort of duel someone as Lucio, then you might need to get in close and use the knockback, because in the video it does do quite a lot of damage as well as knocking people potentially off things.
Yeah. The knockback though seems to have a 4-second cooldown, so really short potentially, from what I can tell in the video. Like it counts down from 4 back to being available again. 4 seconds doesn't sound like very long to me, so you could be knocking people back quite a lot. And that first weapon, 20 ammo, and it's doing 4 bursts per shot basically, or, you know, per go. So you've got like 5 lots before you need to reload. So I think I agree with you that it's probably going to do bugger all damage if it's got like 20 ammo, so you can get 5 lots of them off before you actually need to reload. Technically more powerful guns normally need to reload quicker. So that's interesting. I think it's still good though, like for the dynamic, especially as a support hero. Those are fun weapons, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems as though it's going to be quite useless at long range, but if you've got the skill to use it, I think you'll be decent. It seems like kind of a high skill support overall, actually. I'm pretty glad that they've added that in.
Yeah. The game, obviously, the more skill they can put into it, or the potential skill, the better. But obviously, knowing Blizzard, they do dumb things down quite a lot, so they want to make it available to all players, whether you're super skilled or not. Maybe your skills don't rely on twitch and aiming, but maybe in precision and just sort of like, I hate to use the term streetwise, but you know what I mean, like these kind of like natural skills of just knowing how to play the game, I don't know how to describe it any other way, so I guess I'll just move on to the next ability, which is Crossfade. So Crossfade is where Lucio can continuously energize himself and nearby teammates with music. So he plays a song, and this song, well, he has two songs, and one of the songs basically sort of like increases the movement speed of himself and allies, and the other song basically heals and goes from there. So if we're looking at the little video, we can see that right now he's healing those nearby him, and then once he's healed them, he starts to move forward much faster as he switches over to the next song. Now, what are your thoughts on this one, Thomas?
I don't know. I think maybe the healing might be a little bit weak. I think the speed is going to be good,
Yeah.
but it sort of makes me think that he's only going to be good on attacking teams and not defending teams. Because there's not really going to be much point in running fast if you're going to defend something. You'll want people to still be alive after a little fight at one of the points that you're trying to defend.
I'm wondering if he's doing this healing and this speed boost, can he actually attack whilst he's doing it?
Yeah, I think he can.
Okay, that's not so bad then. But I suppose if he's not doing all that much damage, it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, it feels like he's going to be more inconsequential with this than he should be. Like, the speed boost seems way better than the heal. Like, I could see situations, especially since the game is so objective-based, where running... Well, you look at a Soldier 76, one of his main abilities is sprint. Well, this guy's going to basically give sprint to everyone. It's like World of Warcraft, like if you're a druid or something, you give like the roar, and then everyone can move like quite fast for like a limited amount of time period. And that's huge in a team situation, if everyone's there, but how often does that work? I'm really looking forward to this from a spectator point of view, actually, because I think when you do come across the pros that know how to sort of work together, he's going to be fantastic in these kind of teams. But in random pugs, I think people are just going to have a go at him. Do you know what I mean? If you're that guy that picks Lucio, they're going to go, oh shit, why didn't they just pick Mercy and get some solid healing or something like that?
Yeah, I get that impression as well, actually. I think he's probably going to be pretty useless if you want a good player with a good setup. And as far as the healing goes, I don't think he's really going to use the passive healing song all that much, unless he's using it with one of his abilities, which I guess we're going to be talking about next.
Yep. Our next ability is, of course, Amp It Up. Lucio increases the volume on his speakers, boosting the effects of his songs. So essentially, he amplifies his healing or his movement speed. So as you can see here, the healing goes up much quicker, but what is the cooldown on that? 12 seconds according to the video. So that's not too bad, but...
That's pretty low.
Yeah, considering the healing does go up quite rapidly there, that's very effective. I really like the speed boost though. I mean, jeez, again, we go on about the speed, how that's really important, but that is quick. Like, if you are basically at one of those choke points and the enemy are raining fire down on you, and you're able to give that to like 2 other teammates, maybe more, that might just be enough to sort of like save you, you know, hundreds, thousands of damage worth, potentially, you know, from just getting from A to B so quick that the enemy just have to have lightning fast reactions to be able to aim and hit you. So I think that's going to be more effective than the heal. Either way, but the heal is still very nice and Amp It Up. That's the only way the heal seems good, actually, is if you have Amp It Up, to be fair. Otherwise it seems pointless, practically.
It seems pretty garbage, frankly. I really strongly get the impression that Mercy, the other healer, is going to be stronger in sort of most situations.
Yeah.
In terms of being a solo player, Mercy is probably going to be quite weak compared to Lucio.
Right, well, let's move on to his final ability, Sound Barrier. Protective waves radiate out from Lucio's sonic amplifier, briefly providing him and nearby allies with personal shields. So, looking at this video, it seems like it provides a gigantic shield which decreases quite rapidly over time. So, what are you thinking on this one?
I guess it's going to be pretty good. I mean, it depends how many people you can hit with it, really. I don't know whether he is going to be able to hit many people necessarily, but again, this isn't going to be any use if you're defending something. This is only if you're going to go in with people
Well, you say
and
that.
get hit.
If you're defending, for example, and you've got another 5 seconds until you capture the point, or maybe even win the game, this could be all that matters, because I'm looking at this, and he has 200 health, which is actually, this is another point I want to get onto in a moment, but he has 200 health, and his health pool goes up to 700, so that basically means that everyone is getting a 500 health shield, which is pretty huge. It's basically like a tank. I think Sarah has that, the giant girl, Russian girl. So you're getting 500 health, which then rapidly decreases down to your normal health pool. So essentially you've got 500 worth of damage that you can take, and that's a lot, really. In a big team fight where, you know, gunfire is going everywhere, you can get a lot out of this, I think.
Yeah, I guess I agree. It's just the point that I keep coming back to with the defending and the attacking is if you're defending, you'll have a better position and you'll be less likely to die. Whereas if you're attacking, you really need that extra health because you need to be able to break through and get 1 or 2 quickie kills, and then you can kind of overwhelm them.
Well, let's have a look just quickly at another hero, and I want to see if I can just... Soldier 76, he's like a bog standard, isn't he? How much health has this dude got? He's an offensive role. Let's see if there's a little clip. Maybe it shows his 200 health. Huh. It says he's got 200 health. I'm actually surprised. He's got less health than I thought. If we can look at Reaper. Go to Hellfire Shotguns. 250 health. Reaper has more. So, how much did Torbjorn have? Like 350 or something like that? Like to round it off. 200. Okay, well, this kind of makes Lucio really good, to be honest. Well, I mean, the game has obviously got a lot of balancing and stuff like that to go through, but I was just thinking that, oh, okay, one of the catches with this guy is he's very fast and stuff like that, but he's got fuck all health. Well, looking at the other heroes, his health pool is basically the same or not that much lower. So
yeah, the only way they can balance that is if he's going to have a hard time killing people in a one-on-one situation. So I guess his guns probably don't do as much damage as the other characters.
yeah, you've definitely got something against his gun. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to hit all 4 shots with the bursts realistically all the time. It's not going to happen.
It's nice as cover fire though. Bit spammy. So yeah. Overall thoughts on Lucio? Like his role and just the character design?
Interesting. Probably one of the most niche characters that we've seen. His design's really good. I like his design. You need a bit of diversity in there as well. Not that many black characters, I guess. It just seems pretty good, honestly. Again, I like the high skill requirement for playing him. It seems a lot more difficult than Mercy, who seems, frankly, too easy to the point of being boring. So I'm glad that there is somebody to play who isn't going to be a total snooze fest.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this character. He's just got so much potential, and like I say, if you're in a position where you have to play support, or you maybe have a daily quest, which this game is most likely going to have daily quests and stuff like that, it's like, play a support character. Yeah, you don't have to play that Mercy, unless you really want to. She can fly, or glide, but other than that, there's not that much interest in playing Mercy, at least for me personally speaking. So yeah, this guy stands out a lot more, but just expect to be shouted at by your teammates in pug games, because it's gonna happen. This guy, he's either gonna be amazing or terrible, and this is why I say, or I said earlier, I look forward to sort of spectating. Like I can imagine him in tournaments and stuff like that. It's just, he'll be like one of those guys that just sort of like makes or breaks the team. Like just a couple of his abilities in the right place, the right position, the right time will do so much more than quite a few of the other characters, to be quite frank, who seem a bit more generic and don't have that much potential. Like they're good at what they do, but they don't have that much to swing the pace of the game. This guy could really bring you back at certain points. So, Lucio, a good step forward. This actually gives me a bit of hope, really, for Overwatch. I'm obviously quite hyped up for it and looking forward to it. But this is a step in the right direction. Like, they need more of this, basically. He looks cool. He's got unique abilities, and we didn't even cover the bit that he can basically glide across walls. I'm not sure how high he can go, but he can seem to glide across the surface of a wall, but I don't think he can glide on the wall and then get up onto the roof if you know what I mean. Like glide
Yeah, it
all the
looks
way
like
up.
he just goes sideways. I don't know how viable that's going to be necessarily. It looks like it's probably for sort of getting little shortcuts in. I don't think it's going to be useful for much more.
Map design, as well as basically messing with players. Like, if you're basically, I mean, you know how good dodging is in first-person shooter games. Well, if you're fucking flipping all over the place and up the walls, that's going to make you a bit more of a difficult target. However, if you're flipping over the walls, your allies certainly can't do that, so you can't go too far away from them. I imagine he's only got so much range on his supporting abilities. So if you go flipping over walls, they'll be like, come back, you fucker. Right, there's Lucio. Anything else you want to mention about the little fella?
No, I think that more or less sums it up. I think we pretty much agree that he's a good addition.
Very good. Very good addition. Okay, Lucio, we look forward to it, and we hope you do too. That's our video covering Lucio. If you want to check out Thomas, then make sure you go over to youtube.com/Pracky and check out many of his awesome videos. He also streams twitch.tv/Pracky. And as for me, basically just check out my YouTube channels, youtube.com/WittyWarcraft, youtube.com/Witty1, and the Twitch page that I stream at on a regular basis is twitch.tv/Witty, WTii. Right then, anything else to say, Thomas?
No, I'm pretty much looking forward to Overwatch. You know, I'm gonna be extremely sad if it turns out to be a bad game, so it better not be.
Well, the thing that gives me a bit of hope is that there's been numerous conventions where Blizzard have been showing this game off, and it generally seems to get a lot of positive responses from people that basically wait in line to play it. So I've not really heard many negative things about it, but maybe people are sort of like overhyped for Overwatch, so they're being a little bit biased, but it's better than hearing loads of reports come back where they're like, it's not what I was hoping it would be, and all of this kind of stuff. It's just like, oh, it's really fun to play. It just spent ages on it, and it's just great. I wanted to play more. That's what you want. You want a quick, addictive, sort of fast-paced shooter where you can get in, get out if you want, or just play for hours and not feel like you're playing for hours. Right then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.